As the global population ages, healthcare system face increasing pressure.
Basically, when we're talking about the word of physiotherapy, the word physio actually means physical, then the word of therapy actually means ability to care for a particular thing. Now, basically, when talking about physiotherapy can also be referred to as a health professional that actually focuses on anybody that is physically challenged. It may be about injury or a kind of a physical illness.
World Physiotherapy Day 2025 shines a spotlight on healthy aging, emphasizing the vital role of physiotherapy in promoting quality of life for older adults. By focusing on preventing falls and frailty, physiotherapists can help seniors maintain balance, strength, and mobility.
Like they should go to gym, they should do various exercises. There are various exercises to keep fit. Like even if you are walking, it is an exercise. You can walk, use treadmill or bicycle for movement to gain your posture back. And those that are aging to diet, I think diet is a good option for them.
To prevent like exercises and stretches, riding like all these gym bicycles, carrying like weights or something that can prevent you from being injured more, like stuff.
Regular physical activity is key to healthy aging, reducing the risks of fall and related injuries. This year's World Physiotherapy Day is targeted on preventing falls and weaknesses and promoting healthy lifestyle, which helps in reducing the risks of chronic diseases and improving overall physical and mental health, especially in older individuals. National Physiotherapy Organization are advocating for greater accessibility to physiotherapy services, ensuring older adults receive the care they need. By prioritizing physiotherapy, we can empower older adults to live healthier and more independent life. Morning Safari continues in the studio.
You're welcome back. It's now time for our discussion. But the background report has already given us a heads-on the theme for today, which is healthy aging, preventing falls and frailty. And with me, I have a doctor, a medical specialist. His name is Dr. Opeyemi Babalola, who is a community palliative care physiotherapist. You're welcome on the show. It's nice to have you.
Thank you, ma. Good morning, ma.
All right. Thank you for joining us. My first question is, in celebrating this year's Physiotherapy Day, the theme is healthy aging. What prompted the theme, healthy aging? Like, what is behind the theme?
Okay. First of all, I would like to say I'm not a medical doctor.
Okay.
I'm a physiotherapist.
Okay.
So I'm a doctor of physiotherapy.
All right. Sorry for the confusion.
No, that's not an issue.
Okay.
Actually, over the years, over decades now, we've been having more of aged people worldwide. In 2019, there were about 1 billion. In 2030, it's believed that by 2030, it will be around 1.9 billion. Okay. Then in 2050, it's going to be around 2.1 billion. Okay. So globally, there is need to cater for aging people who are living longer. Although in Africa, we have a youthful age because we have myriads of people under the age of 18 or between the age of 13 to 20. But in developing nations, we are more aged people than in developed nations. We are more aged people than in developing nations. So that's the reason why the world is looking towards that direction to help in improving their quality of life and their well-being even at old age. Also, there is a United Nations policy that supports that, and that policy is supposed to run from 2021 to 2030. That's United Nations decades of healthy aging. So worldwide, we physiotherapists, we are also keen into that because we know that we have a lot of role to play when it comes to healthy aging, especially in the area of physical activity, and also in helping to improve the quality of life of our patients.
Okay, so in simple terms, let me say it's just about everybody is going to get aged eventually.
Yeah.
So it's like a preventive measure that is going to go in the long run to ensure that the aged have a healthy living. Okay, so the second question is what features do we see in people that suggest them to have a healthy aging or to have an unhealthy aging?
Okay, actually healthy aging has to do with developing and maintaining functional capacity geared towards enabling well-being in old age.
Okay.
So, and when it comes to well-being, it has to do with an individual perception of how good his or her life is. So you may not be able to say categorically just by looking at an individual that this person is aging well or is having healthy age. However, there are pillars of healthy aging that we need to look out for. Number one is the person physically active? Is the person taking appropriate diet? Is the person having good social interaction? You know, these days people tend to put their old aged people, just hide them in one room, thinking they are helping the matters. So it's important that they are socially integrated. And we also want to look at the mental integration, mental activeness. Is the older adult, is the person cognitively okay? So these are the things you look at. So the opposite of some of the things I mentioned are actually what will make you say, oh, this person is not aging well, or this person is not healthy, being an aged person.
So it's not physically obvious to say this person is aging well.
It's obvious. You can see, you can definitely see an older adult that is malnourished.
Okay.
So you can see an older adult who is not physically active.
Okay.
And you can see somebody who is socially isolated.
Okay.
But in as much as you can see all that, it also has to do with the individual perception about how good his or her life is. That's quality of life, and that's what well-being is all about.
Okay. So what are the common causes of falls? It is believed that elderly people tend to fall more often than younger ones. Well, let's say that the children who plays a lot aside, the elder ones tend to fall more than the younger ones. So what are the common causes of falls in elderlies, and how can these falls be prevented?
Actually, there are two major things that causes fall in elderly people, that cause fall in elderly, the elderly. Number one is we have what we call intrinsic factors. Then the second thing is environmental factors. Then we also have the interplay between the intrinsic factors and the environmental factors. Yes.
Factor.
Now, intrinsic factors has to do with the personality, the personal factor. Things like, does the person have good strength? Does the person have good balance? Does the person have good coordination? Does the person have good vision? Because if an individual cannot see well, the person will not be able to walk where the person can fall. Then environmental factors has to do with the surrounding of the person, the people, the topography, the terrain, the structures around. So these are things. So the interplay of these two things are things that causes fall in elderly people. And to prevent that, you need to deal with both the intrinsic factors and the environmental factors. And it involves inter-sectoral collaboration.
Okay.
So for we as professionals, we help people to take care of the intrinsic factors, and also to some extent the environmental factors within their home. Like the home ergonomics, is the home well arranged to prevent the elderly person from falling? For instance, having a home with slippery carpet, all these glass carpets. There is no reason why you should have a glass carpet. If you have an older adult at home, you can definitely get a non-slippery rug or a non-slippery carpet at home to prevent fall. So, and also we also have good policies. The good infrastructural development in the society can also help. Just like what the current governor is doing, His Excellency Abdulrazak Abdulrahman, you will notice some of the infrastructural development going on. You will see that we are now having good walkways where people can also apply to, which are also disability friendly. So I believe with some of these developments happening over time, we have a society that will be all inclusive and that will take care of equity.
Okay, right. So if someone happens to fall, maybe a younger person or an adult, so what are the indications that suggest that the person needs to visit a physiotherapist?
Actually, after a fall, there are two major things that bring people to the hospital or to us.
Okay.
Number one is pain, and number two is loss of function. The moment you see that you are having pain and the pain is not going, despite taking all these OTC drugs, maybe after taking maybe paracetamol, you see that the pain is not going, you need to visit the hospital. And you see that you are unable to perform your function. Let's say somebody falls down now, the person is unable to stand up again, the person starts having back pain, you need to visit the hospital. And I will advise that you visit the nearest hospital around you. And thank God we now have appreciably functioning primary healthcare centers around us. So people can easily go there and consult whether the doctor or the physiotherapist. However, somehow it's a pity that we don't really have physiotherapists at the primary healthcare centers yet. But I'm also using this platform to appeal to the government that we need to have physiotherapists. We may not be able to achieve that of primary healthcare centers, but at the secondary healthcare centers, we should have physiotherapists in all the general hospitals in Kwara State.
All right. It is believed that as people age, or it's a common observation that as people age, that they complain of weakness. So from the physiotherapist's point of view, what are the common causes of this weakness? How can they be prevented? And how can they be overcome early so that it can be prevented in the long run?
Okay, actually, the issue of elder aging starts from adulthood. Not necessarily until when an individual becomes an older adult, as they become an aged person. So it starts from our age now. Our habits, our lifestyle, all these things, at the end of the day, will accumulate to who we become at old age. So it's imperative that we focus more on being physically active. But studies have shown that people who are physically active are 41.3% less likely to become frail or to suffer from frailty when they are aged. So physical activity is very important. Those are ways of preventing that. However, you can't prevent old age, especially except if the person wants to die before reaching that age. But on getting there, what we are saying is, how do we, as much as possible, be functional even as at old age? How do we ensure that we live our life to the fullest, being able to do the basic things that we need to do as humans at that age? So it's important to be physically active, eat proper diet, engage in activities that will help mental improvement, that will improve cognition, whether as a young adult, old adult, or at the extreme age. So these are the things to do to prevent frailty, moving, being active, eating appropriate diet, making sure that you eat from varieties of food. Before we normally talk of balanced diet, but now it's more of diversity.
All right, thank you for that. So what are the simple exercises that could be done at home to improve quality of life without supervision from experts, so that they won't, well, maybe the aged or even we, the youths, will not overdo the exercise so that we can stay fit?
Well, actually, I don't know. Most people are always curious about what are the exercises I can do at home. And at times when we physiotherapists, when we hear that, we do laugh, because exercise have to be individualized. Now, there is no one good exercise for all. So I cannot say you be doing this particular exercise because I am describing one exercise to an individual person. It will be useful for another individual person. Ordinary moving my hand like this, some individuals cannot do it. If they try that, they can end up in ICU.
Wow.
So we need to exercise how to be individualized. The only thing we can encourage, based on WHO recommendation, is that every adult, including older adults, are to engage in 150 minutes moderate to high intensity activities in a week. So 150 minutes, so they can break it down maybe into 30 per day. So 30 times 5 will be 150. So physical activity is as simple as, you know, walking around, maybe cycling if the person has maybe a stable bicycle.
Okay.
So things like that. But exercise has to be individualized. It has to be programmed. It has to be structured
Based on personal strength.
based on the individual. So there are many things to assess
Okay.
before you give an individual exercise, because you can give somebody exercise and the person can land in heaven. So we need to be careful with that.
All right. All right. So scientifically, it is believed that aging is irreversible. Well, I can't say for maybe diabolically there might be some abracadabra, but scientifically it is believed that aging is irreversible. So if it can be slowed down, it can be slowed down by okay, if aging can be slowed down, okay, from the medical point of view, what method are the best way to slow down aging?
Yeah, as I said earlier on, the word aging has to do with chronological age. You can't really stop somebody from
Aging.
growing older,
Yes.
except the person wants to die young. Now, the only thing you can do is to stop frailty.
Okay.
That's being weak as a result of degenerative changes.
Okay.
And I said it earlier on, the more you are active,
Okay.
the more the muscles tend to be active. The more you prevent loss of muscles, the more you prevent, the more you are active, the more you have good balance. Then eating appropriate diet, avoiding certain meals or beverages.
Okay.
So I think people should learn from now that
Okay.
we should try as much as possible to caution ourselves when it comes to area of smoking
Okay.
or taking alcohol beverages. We need to caution ourselves in those areas, because at the end of the day, those are the things that can end up affecting an individual at old age.
Okay.
So being physically active is very, very important. And
Important.
social integration,
All right.
you know, participating in social groups enables an individual to have good mental well-being. It helps individual to be able to cope with stress and any other challenges around.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
It's nice to have you around. So we've been having this discussion segment with Dr. Okweyemi Babalola. Oh, I beg your pardon. He just corrected me that he's not a doctor. He's a specialist, a physiotherapist. And he has just discussed with us the theme, which is healthy aging, preventing frailty and falls. I hope we are able to learn one or two things for ourselves and for our adults. Excuse me, I beg your pardon. For our aged people at home, so that we can take good care of them. All right.